Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of interesting. It is going to be a book review plus a makeup tutorial all in one. The book that I am going to be reviewing is A Court of Thorns Roses by Sarah J Maas. And the makeup look that I'm doing today is inspired by the main character Feyre in it. Alrighty guys, so let's get into this. So I absolutely love Sarah J Maas, and particularly this is my favorite series by her. A Court of Thorns and Roses and the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, were my two books that I kept rereading last year, especially A Court of Mist and Fury. I have read both of them several times and I love them so much. A Court of Thorns and Roses is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling with some extra mythology thrown into it. It's very interesting. So our main character, her name is Feyre, and she's the youngest daughter to a family who used to have quite a bit of money. Well, actually, they had a really good name that masked a lot of debt. And eventually, all of those dominoes kind of fell down. They no longer have their wealth. And for means of survival, Feyre taught herself how to hunt. And that's really what leads us to the opening scene in this book, where Feyre finds herself in the middle of winter in a desolated forest, trying to hunt and kill this deer. And while she's trying to accomplish this, a wolf comes and kind of interrupts, and she ends up killing this wolf. And that's kind of what sets us off the path for the rest of the story. The wolf that Feyre ends up killing is not a normal wolf. He's actually a fairy that was transformed into a wolf. In this world, there are fairies and there's humans, but because of the history between them 500 years ago, there's a wall that separates their two lands. There's just a lot of bad blood on the human side towards fairies. With hate in her heart, Feyre ends up killing this wolf, and that triggers the magic that's in this treaty that was made not long after a High Lord of Spring ends up showing up at her doorstep and demands payment for the debt that was created, a life for a life. Feyre is forced to travel across the wall and into the fairy lands. And Feyre comes to find out that the person who has come to claim the debt on the life that she has taken is a High Lord, and he is the High Lord of the Spring Court. There are certain things that Feyre kind of notices, and she thinks, no, this is odd, and she finds out that these people are cursed, but there's, of course, no way that anyone's straight up and honest with her, or can be, and tell her what their curse is exactly and how to break it. And during this time, she also becomes closer to Tamlin, and they end up falling in love for each other. But of course, there's a huge wrench that is thrown at them. And that wrench is actually the person who cursed Tamlin and his court almost 50 years prior. And let me tell ya, she's a nasty character. And out of fear, Tamlin releases Feyre from the debt that she owes and sends her back to the mortal realm. She has like this sinking dread that something awful has happened. After several weeks, she makes the decision to go back. And once Feyre arrives, she is finally actually able to learn of the complete terms of Tamlin and his people's curse. And she is actually just devastated and crushed that she missed the window of opportunity to save them. She sets out to confront the person who cursed Tamlin and enters a fool's bargain in order to free him from his curse. That just leads us down to other paths completely, and I don't want to reveal much more because I really think that if you were to read this book, that you would really enjoy it, and I don't want to spoil the ending for you because it's very significant and important. But I do have to say, you guys, that I love this book. I love the story, and I love the world, and above all else, I love these characters. I love Feyre. I am okay with Tamlin, and I actually really enjoy the villain in this story, Amarantha. I find that she is kind of fascinating in a way, in a scary way, yes, of course, but very fascinating to kind of think about her and her character and what motivates and drives her, and it's just extremely interesting to me. So I have to say that if you haven't read this book or this series, that you definitely need to pick it up and give it a read. I absolutely adore this book, and I love the series, and I can't wait for the third book to come out. This is a phenomenal book. I'd give it 4.5 stars out of 5. Definitely worth a read. Since I'm done giving you guys my thoughts and opinions about this book, I'm going to go ahead and finish out narrating this tutorial. So right here, I'm taking this black and I'm running it along the eyeliner that I've made, and it's doing two things. It is one, setting the eyeliner, and it's also adding more depth to it as well. The next thing that I am going to be doing is actually taking this deep, rich brown on a fluffy brush, and I am going to take that and starting from the top part of that liner, I'm going to blend up towards my crease. And this is doing two things. This is really adding a lot of depth to this eye look, and it's adding quite a bit of smokiness and drama to it as well. And what I'm doing is just using windshield wiper motions, going back and forth, all the way along this line. So what you're seeing me do here is taking a clean blending brush, and I'm just going over this so that way I can give it a more hazy effect. So now I'm taking a jewel pot. This is creamy glitter, and I'm taking that and I'm bringing it on the inner corner of the eye. And now what I'm doing here, this is the part that we're going to clean everything up. That's why I wasn't being too careful and perfect earlier in this tutorial. So I'm just starting along my lower lash line, and I'm just following the curve of my eye up and just pulling that all the way through, which, as you can see, really sharpens that liner. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This kind of look is extremely outside of my comfort zone, but I was inspired to do this kind of look because in my mind, I kind of imagined Feyre having something like this when she was underneath the mountain after she made her second bargain, and she is being forced by Rhys to accompany him every night to the courtly gatherings. And right here, you guys can see that I'm listening to the second book. I'm so excited for the release of the third book, and I just can't wait to get my hands on it. So since this look is such a dark look, it's really important to highlight and really bring that highlight all the way up on the inner corners and bring it down as well. So you guys, tell me down in the comments below, if you've read this book, what was your favorite part of this book? And if you're anxiously awaiting the third book, what's your favorite moment so far in the series? And what are your thoughts about what will happen? Right here, I'm just blending out that concealer that we used, and I'm also using it to kind of highlight the high points of my face as well. Next thing I'm going to use is a pressed powder, and I'm just going to use it to set the concealer that I had under my eyes. Next thing is a highlighter, and this thing is thebomb.com. You just need like a dab of it, and it's just like liquid gold on your cheeks, on your cupid's bow, on the bridge of your nose. Like, it is phenomenal. And what I'm doing right here is just applying that on my upper cheekbones, and I'm just blending down. Using it to highlight my brow bone. I'm highlighting my cupid's bow as well. Next thing here is I'm actually going to be contouring. I know that this seems like a really scary shade to contour with, especially since it's an eyeshadow, but all you fair skinned princesses out there, this is actually a wonderful contour for us. And I didn't want to use anything that was too warm or bronzy because essentially at this time, Feyre has been underneath the mountain for several months now, and she has not seen the sun. I imagine that she's a little bit sallow and has become more pale and probably has lost quite a bit of weight as well. And what I'm doing here is just doing a little bit of contouring down my nose. And then what I like to do to blend that a little bit is just use the warmth of my fingers to blend that out. I'm also going to put a little bit on the lower part of my lip right there to make it seem like my lower lip is fuller. And then here, all I'm doing is whacking on some mascara. If you have false lashes, you can go ahead and put those on. But just to be honest, you guys, I really don't care for false lashes. I am not about that life. Ain't nobody got time for that. I am essentially using a purple lip liner from NYX, and I am just taking my time and really just following the curve of my lip. And then what I'm going to do is fill it in quite a bit. And just kind of push that color around on my lips. You'll see it in just a second, like right there. And just really trying to work that in. And this is gonna help create a lot of depth and gradients in the lip when we're finished with it. So the next thing here is I'm actually applying a dark blue lipstick. Just taking my time again because I really don't want to get this outside of my lips and cause all kinds of shenanigans. The next thing I'm doing here is using a black lipstick, and I'm going to keep this concentrated on the outer corners of my lip. I'm just melding those two together, and now I'm just taking a synthetic brush and blending where the black and the blue meet. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back into my blue lipstick and go over where that black and blue meet again and then blend. So that way it has a really awesome transition and gradient look to it. And here what I'm doing is just cleaning up with that concealer that I used earlier. And with another synthetic brush, I'm just really making that line nice and crisp on my lower lip. And I'm going to be doing that to my upper lip as well, as you see right here. Alrighty, you guys, there you have it. This is my inspired makeup look for Feyre. You guys should definitely go ahead and pick up this book if you haven't read it yet. It is absolutely phenomenal. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And if you like this video and want to see more like, hit that subscribe button. I upload every Tuesday and Friday. Thank you guys again so much, and I hope that you enjoyed watching.